Down in the place to be. Forget your cares if you want, most definitely.
What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're taking a look at something I'm incredibly excited to pop open. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new 5Ktoys, Fury Toys, or Furry Toys. I'm pretty sure it's Fury Toys. Ancient Powers Samurai Animals Spring Edition 1/12 scale collectible. It's definitely not supposed to be a Leonardo Ninja Turtle. I don't know where you got that idea, but if it was, it'd be a pretty damn cool version of them. So taking a look at the box here, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not huge on the art here. It's a little hard to see what they were going for. You can kind of see a silhouette of the figure, but it gets a little clouded here. I don't know if that's just mine, if I got a misprint, but I'm not huge on the art for this. On the side, it kind of just carries over, and then a lot of Japanese, but there are some English stuff on there, so choking hazard, don't put it in your mouth. And on the side here, you just get the katana, I'm assuming, and a little bit on there, a little bit on there. And then in the box, you also get the accessories that come separate. I don't know why they just didn't make it a bigger box and put everything in there. Plus, all you get in here is the extra pair of hands, an extra head, and some swords. So, yeah, I don't really know why, but I do really like that I'm getting this in hand. I was very excited. This is a third-party thing. I don't think I've ever reviewed a third-party item on the channel. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't really have a lot of third-party things to begin with, but, you know, why the hell not? So without further ado, let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. So opening the packaging, this is what you get, and look at that. What a beauty. He is a little bit smaller than I anticipated him to be. I guess the pictures, he looks so good that it looked bigger, but honestly, it's not bothering me because of how fucking cool he is. And I really, really like what he's got going on. So we're going to dive deep into this. There's a lot to go over with this guy, including accessories. Articulation is okay, but we're going to, don't worry guys, I'm going to give you the full scoop on everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the head sculpt that he comes with in the packaging. You get that little mask over him. There's so much paint on this figure, and it makes me so happy, and it's all very cleanly applied. I like the little speckling on the top of the samurai helmet. The layers of it, like the shackles, look great. The gold is very cleanly applied, and then you get a wash and a dry brush over everything. So the eyes are painted nicely in there. The band around his like mask looks great, and then you get some soft goods that are painted to look dirty. Looks awesome. So very, very cool. And they're not bendy, but they're definitely like that kind of material where you can kind of like fold it in the right direction, which looks really nice. So going into the body, look at all that paint there, guys. The shell looks awesome. There's so much silver paint on there. Looks really good. The wash and the dry brush is just, oh man, imagine if every fucking company did this amount of paint on their action figures. It'd be insane. But the yellow on the plastron looks great. For those who don't know, the front of a turtle shell is called the plastron, and this is the carapace. Not that you guys care, but the back looks really, really nice too. God, I can't grab a hold of it. Looks really, really nice there too. Really like the dry brush around the shell, and it just looks great. He kind of looks like a slider. Like that's the kind of shell that I'm getting. Also, for those who don't know, I work with turtles pretty frequently at my job and for school, so kind of really like turtles, but I'm willing to guess that this is some kind of a snapper. You can tell by the way that it's shaped, flat, I don't know, whatever, but he's got a little tail in there, a little chulo tail. Looks really, really cool. Dry brushing everywhere. The sculpt goes all the way up into there, like you guys can see that, but all the way up his back. That's awesome. And the dry brush along the bands are great. The arms, I love the shape of them, like the thicker forearms and wrists. Same with like the thicker calves and ankles on the ankles, ankles on the legs. It looks great. The banding is painted so nicely on there. With nice dry brushing and detail work on the bands and the wraps on both the hands and the forearms, different colors. There's a little like overspray of lighter green on the insides of the legs and arms. That's really nice. The pegs are capped on the legs, which really does go a long way, at least for me. If you're not going to make it pinless, then at least make the pins capped or something like that. That's awesome. You do kind of see the R right there, which is a little bothersome, but what are you going to do? And then you do get a little bit of soft goods right here as well. I do like this, but I wouldn't have minded if it was a hard plastic piece neither. So looks really, really nice. either way. And then the legs, I love the sculpt with the scales on there. Look at all the detail on that. That's insane. For such a little figure, that's awesome. Then you get the wraps on the legs, but the bands and the shin guards on there. The toes are painted. The silver on the knee pads look fantastic. They're all the way painted to the bottom, and there's like a lighter tone on the bottom. No peg holes, but I don't really care. Now, the only part of the sculpt that I don't like is I don't like the way they sculpted the grip hands just being a perfect circle. It doesn't really bother me when he's holding his weapons, but when he's not, it's kind of looking stupid. But then again, I'm kind of stupid because why would you have these on if he's not holding anything? I think the only complaint I have, which is more of an accessory thing, I really wish we got a pair of fisted hands. A little upset we did not get that, but the open hands that we get are freaking cool, so I really can't complain that much. Speaking of things he comes with, he does have quite a bit of accessories, so let's go ahead and take a look at all of those. So taking a look at the stuff he has here, as I said, he does have a pair of open hands, which I really like. These style posed hands, they look awesome. Oh man, they look really great. I really like them. There's a great amount of paint on them, and they pop off really easy, and then they pop on really easy. So that's really nice to see. I just really like the way that they look. So yeah, I do like the way that they look. I really like the style. I like style pose hands in general. Then that comes in the little white box, and then what also comes in the little white box is his swords and the sheaths for his swords. Look at the amount of paint on these sheaths. I mean, there's nothing sculpted on the back, but that honestly doesn't bother me. But like, look at the dry brush on the ends of them. And then the sculpt is crazy, and the paint is perfect for it on both the handles, the hilts, and then you take out the swords, and they got this beautiful, beautiful silver paint. Looks fantastic. And they also plug into the back of not Leonardo very, very well. So they're nice in there, firm. You can pose them a little bit, which is cool. Now, I kind of wish that the swords clicked in a little better than they do, because if you flip it upside down, they will fall out. But I'm willing to bet that 90% of the time you're going to have them in his hands. So I do like the way that that looks. And again, they look great too. But I think my favorite accessory so far is the alternate head of just like a regular turtle. Looks fantastic. I did not know that he was going to have soft goods as the bandana. First turtle to have soft goods on the back. No, bendy wire, but that does not bother me, and it's painted very nicely. Looks great. This is probably the head that I'm going to be using. I do really like the samurai head, but I think for my tastes, this is definitely the look that I'm going to be going for with my turtle. So he looks very, very nice. Now, in terms of other weapons, you get two kunai, which are equally as painted and sculpted great. It is super fucking sharp. Holy shit, though. Really like the wash on that, and the grippy hands hold them very nicely. Works very good. For me, when I have characters who have kunai, like Daredevil or something like that, I usually like to have them back like this. I always think that that looks cool as shit. So looks and works very, very well. And then you get these chains. Now, I think these are just like weighted weapons. I'm pretty sure that these are just like, you know, I don't think that these are, you can probably pry these open and close them back together to put these on the ends. I'm not going to be doing that because I don't want to break anything, so I'm just going to kind of have these as their own weapon. You do get two of them. It's got gunmetal gray on the ends of the weights, and then you can kind of just like wrap it around his hand. So if you could get like maybe a wire to run through it, like you could have him like throwing it like this. Whoa, don't fall. You could have like a wire running through it and have them like, whoosh, that would be pretty cool. But they're all right. I'm not really super sold on them. I don't really care. But what I do like are these sickle things. Anybody know the actual name of these? I don't know. But the silver paint is so well done. It's two tones, so the bottom is a little bit lighter than the top, but it works perfectly. And then the wash and the sculpt on the handles looks great. There's a nice wash on the metal-y parts too. So, and they are also like super sharp. You can also potentially open up the chain and put them on the ends of this as well. I'm not going to be doing that again, but you know, you can. And then obviously he does hold these very well as well. So very, very great set of accessories. I think the only things that I would have liked are a pair of fist hands. I'm a little upset that we don't get that, but it's not the end of the world. So let me know what else you guys think he should have came with. Maybe alternate swords. I don't know. I think that this is pretty adamant for what you get. Now, I feel Articulation, while it's totally fine for me, I feel like this is going to be the part of the figure that a lot of people think is lacking, but I think it's perfectly fine. So you get a double ball peg at the top of the head that allows him to look up, down, rotate side to side, and a great amount of pivot. So you get all around. That looks really good. Shoulders hinge up about that far. Down they rotate 360. Bicep, no swivel, but you do get a single hinged elbow. That does get about 90, so that works for me. And then you get my favorite kind of wrist peg, wrist style. You get a ball peg at the wrist. I really like that because it'll rotate. You can get it in any pose. I mean, if it was implemented a little better, I think a double ball peg would have been better. But that's my favorite kind of ball peg for, or like style of wrist articulation. Now you do get a torso joint in here that does rotate only about that far and crunch forward and back just a smidge, nothing crazy. But I think that's fine. I mean, you could kind of force it a little bit, but I would be careful with that. You don't want to scratch up your paint or anything. So works all right. Nothing crazy. The legs are just on ball pegs. They move out only about that far. I don't want to push it anymore, but that's fine. They'll rotate on that peg just a little bit, nothing crazy, and then you get double jointed knees that work fantastic. I like that a lot. That works good. And then finally, you get the ankle. That's a little tight, but it will go down pretty much all the way. I don't think you're going to need more than that. Up, definitely can get a little bit more. Up about that far. And then, of course, rotation. So I personally am okay with this amount of articulation, but I could see where people would have a problem with this. Also, when you're playing with them, you do get a little bit of paint chipping just because of the nature of the figure, but that doesn't bother me because it doesn't mess up anything because the paint isn't supposed to be there anyway. So I think that's perfectly fine. Now, other than the articulation, I could see people saying that the size is unjustified for the price. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Batman and the NECA Toys King Kong, and that's pretty small compared to them. But also here he is next to some 6-inch figures with the 6-inch Jazzwares Series Peely, and then you do have him next to Darwin and Captain America Zombie Edition from Marvel Legends. But I think what most people are going to want to see him next to are a couple of. So here he is next to a couple brands. Here he is next to the actual Leonardo from Super 7 and the NECA Toys Last Ronin. So I really don't care, to be honest. I think once all four of them together, it's going to look awesome. I still think my favorite looking Turtles are the Super 7 ones, which is kind of crazy to me because I don't like Super 7 as a company very much. I think that their figures are not worth the prices, even despite having all those accessories, articulation, whatever. We're not getting into that, but I do got to say I really like their Turtles, just from an aesthetic standpoint. The articulations, whatever. NECA... if NECA was to do a version of a turtle like this, I'd lose my mind. But I really like getting different versions of the Turtles. So I can't wait for the Last Ronin series to continue and get all the Turtles from that, along with the Mirage Turtles. We'll see. But I really want to get the other 3 Turtles from this. They revealed the Not Donnie figure. And for anybody who knows the channel, Donnie's my favorite. And he looks fantastic. I voted for figure A, I believe it was, where it was like taller. I want Donnie to be a little bit taller. To me... the shortest one's Mikey, then Leo, then Raph, and then Donnie's the tallest, in my opinion. Come on. It's just science. But anyway, yeah, I think that I think it doesn't have to scale with everything, in my opinion. My biggest complaint, I know what people are going to say, is that you said the Playmates one was too short. The Playmates one... Fuck, I don't have it here with me. But the Playmates one was just about the same size as this, but... nowhere near the amount of quality that this is. I do realize, though, a lot of people left in my comments, well, that's supposed to be a vintage figure. And honestly, I didn't even think about it like that. So I apologize for anybody who watched that video and is now watching this one. I didn't really realize that that's what the intention of that figure was. So that's on me, but a lot of my opinions still stand on that. But anyway, oh man, bro, getting all these versions of the Turtles makes me so happy. So this looks great. Once you get them all posed up, you can't help but fall in love with this thing. It is so sick. He poses good enough for me. I really like it. I think he just looks fantastic. I mean, I really don't have a lot of complaints with this. Now, a lot of it is going to come down to whether or not you have the money for it, because I think for what you get, it is a little expensive. He costs $50, which is the same price as a Super 7 figure, and a Super 7 figure is bigger, but it doesn't have nearly as much paint, not as much sculpted detail, no soft goods, around the same amount of accessories, to be honest. I mean, from what I remember from that Super 7 one, it was around the same, maybe a little bit more for the Super 7, to be honest, but nowhere near as much paint, and the articulation is so much better on this guy. So that's just my opinion, guys. If you feel differently, that's totally okay, but and this is like a really good style of turtle. If he was around the size of the NECA figures, and we got all 4 of them, I would cry because it's just perfect. But anyway, I'm a really big fan of this. I'm very happy that I hopped on board and got it. I'm getting more into third-party stuff. If you guys are watching at this point in the video, can somebody please hook me up with the Maniple, Walter White, please? Can somebody sell that to me for retail? I really want that. But anyway, at a price point of around $50 to $55, I'm going to go ahead and give this 5Ktoys Turtle, Samurai Warrior, Animal Warrior, whatever the fuck it is called, Samurai Animal, a 8 out of 10. I think it's a little expensive. A pair of fist hands would have been nice. I don't like the way how they sculpted the grip hands, but everything other than that, it's just an awesome looking turtle figure, because this is Leo, okay? It's Leo. Licensing issue say it's not, but I say it is. So without further ado, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot over there and I have a lot of fun, so I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You copping? See you guys in the next one. Peace.